Alright, this is Brandon from the Old School Game Vault, and today we are going to change a battery on a Game Boy Color console. As you can see, I'm trying to put it up close so we can hear it, but this one has no sound. It's not making any noise. We're playing, I don't know, what are we playing? We're playing Mario Brothers. I can't get any sound on this guy. So I'm going to show you how to swap it out. So what we're going to need a little itty-bitty flathead screwdriver. We're going to need, this is kind of like the Nintendo Y screwdriver bit, I guess you could say. You use it to open like Game Boy Advance games. It's got a little Y because these screws right here, if I can show it to you just right, they have a little Y on them. So you need this little screwdriver for those. You're also going to need a soldering iron, have that hot. And you're also going to need a little replacement speaker. I got the speaker online. I just typed in, I don't know, Game Boy Color replacement speaker, I think it was. So what we're going to do, we have the back of the console right here. And we're going to remove the 1, 2, and then we got two screws here and the battery well. So we're going to undo those screws with a little Y screwdriver. You don't have to take them all the way out. You can just leave them in there because the shell will just come right off. And which one's being particular? Alright. So their shell comes right off. I keep the screws in our shell. Here's the inside of the Game Boy Color console. Here's a little speaker that we got to take out. But what we got to do first before we get there is we got 1, 2, 3 screws right here. These are used with our little dinky Phillips screwdriver. So we're going to take those 3 screws out. Now granted, this Game Boy Color console, I'm going to replace the screen on them. So I'm not being too particular about the screen getting scratched. So if you maybe have like a nice screen, you want to put a cloth or something under what we're doing so you don't get the screen scratched. That could be a good idea for you. So I got our 3 screws undone. So I'm going to take out our old speaker. So I got our old speaker out. And as you can see, there's some wires connected. This is where our soldering iron comes in handy. What we're going to do is we're going to take off the speaker wire off the old speaker. There's 2 soldering joints, and they come off relatively easy. Now you saw when I do that, there's like an outside speaker wire, and there's a closer speaker wire. I put it back on the new speaker the exact same fashion. The new speaker here doesn't really have a plus or minus. It just has 2 little solder joints on it. So that's why I just keep it in the same way, the same manner that you took it off with. Now what you're going to do is you're going to solder that little wire, your speaker wire, onto your new battery. It's pretty easy. I mean, this is a pretty small, Now the second wire could be a little bit more tricky because you got to kind of line it up with the speaker, with the new speaker, and you got to kind of line it up on the solder spot. So what we're going to do is just, alright, now we got our 2 solder joints back on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our speaker in the little well. There's like a little circle here for the speaker to go into. So we're going to drop that in there and kind of move that wire around. Now we're just going to reassemble it. So if there's any other problems with your console, maybe some of your directional keys weren't working properly, this is a great time to fix that. Generally, if like your directional keys, what I mean by that, your left, right, up, down, or A, B, if maybe one of those buttons aren't working properly, just clean it with a little rubbing alcohol on the flip side of the board. A little of that should clean them up and make them working again if you have that sort of problem. Okay, so now the only bad thing about this is you kind of have to put it all back together again because you got to use your battery well to turn it on. So what I do after I replace the battery, I don't screw the screws in all the way. I just kind of like partially screw them in so I can put a battery in there, or my 2 batteries. and test it out. Alright, so now we'll stick our batteries back in there. Put our game in there. Watch out, that's very hot. Oh, we got sound. Hopefully you can hear that. So that's it. That's pretty easy. Like I said, just, you know, basic tools, soldering iron, a little bit of patience, and you'll get it going. So I'm Brandon from the Old School Game Vault. Make sure to check out my other how-to videos, my Let's Play videos on our channel. Don't be afraid to hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. It always helps us out. And by all means, if you have video games to sell, check us out at the oldschoolgamevault.com where you can sell your video games. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a nice day.